가볼까.
Say Sue Me. Love this band. It's like 80s surf rock. Sing it.
Let's don't say anything.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Vinny DiMartini, Nathan Purvis in the house.
Let's don't say anything.
Donnie Wiggs, Truth and Politics, CV, Royal Opposition, Cytoplastic Nanobot. Cytoplastic Nanobot, Royal Opposition. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Sunday in the police state of the United States. The United Police States of America. Where war is peace, freedom is slavery, ignorance is strength, says George Orwell. These are the times we're living in. These are the times we are living in, man. Love this band. Love that guitar. It's a harmony painted like a... it's fucking genius, man. Love that shit.
And we're joined today.
Love it, man. Sue Say Me, man. I'll always promote a new band. So, hey, you doing, man? Hey, what's up, everybody? Marcus Conte. Reporting. So we're living in a police state, are we? Everything's shut down. The elections were called off. Or at least fudged over for now. We'll talk about that. Mario Cuomo, they moved the New York primary back 2 months. Originally, it was supposed to be in April, end of April. Now it's in the end of June when nobody's paying attention. You'll watch Mario Cuomo, Andrew Cuomo, say it with a straight face. Got the, there's a lot going on right now. There's a lot going on. I think the issue, the big issue is here. I just want to dive a little deeper into my subject of yesterday, which is that we're living in a police state. We're losing our freedoms. We're losing our rights. We're losing our money. Wealth in America is being siphoned out. It's being extracted from the people and placed in the hands of a very few. I read it yesterday. Not only are federal and state governments unraveling the Constitution with lockdowns that are sending the economy into a tailspin and wreaking havoc on our liberties, but they are rendering citizens fully dependent on the government for financial handouts, medical intervention, protection, and sustenance. Isn't that what all the Trumponians were telling us, that we're moving towards communism with Sanders, which was actually the opposite of that, which was restoring freedom to the people, restoring power to the people by depowering the corporations. But when you go the other way, which is what Trump is doing, which is funding the power elite, funding the oligarchs, we go in the other way. We go a move closer towards 1984's George Orwellian theme of it is communism. It's a commune kind of living, where war is peace, freedom is slavery, ignorance strength. And thank you very much. Instead of don't be a dick, try not to be a dick in the comments. Thank you very much, Vinny DiMartini. Vinny DiMartini doing hard work as a wrench. Sterling Price in the house. Good morning, Sterling Price. So, is the Fed nationalized? I don't know. Is the Fed nationalized? Well, the Fed is the Fed. Are we going to digital currency now? I don't know. You're asking very large questions. What do I know, man? I'm just some jerk off on YouTube. You're asking about digitized currency? What the fuck do I know? No, I don't know. I don't have much of an opinion of that, but I do have an opinion of try not to be a dick in the comments. So this is the whole shit right here, right? While I choked to death from corona. So I'm living in the epicenter of coronavirus, right? That's what they tell us. Right? You walk outside, be afraid, be fearful, stay 6 feet away from people, no playing, no talking, talk from 6 feet where everybody could hear you. It's 1984 all over again, or for the first time, I guess, in some people's lives. But right here, I played a video the other day, and I just want to play it again. This is Trump. The American people were sold on a package of $2.2 trillion. And then there was the executive bait and switch where they jacked it up to $6.2 billion. And if you want to read 800 pages of gibberish, you're welcome to do that. 880 pages of stimulus nonsense. But here's the essence of the nonsense. Here's Trump slipping. I don't think they wanted it. They wanted to, people to mostly think that it was 2.2 trillion, but instead it wound up being 6.2 trillion. Just listen again.
It was sent yesterday and sent to our scientists to study. So we'll have more on that also. We'll be discussing that at 5:30. I just want to thank the people behind me. They've been incredible friends. They've been warriors. There's nobody tougher or smarter than the people standing alongside of me. And I think I want to start off by asking Mitch and then Kevin to speak, and then we're going to go through a few of the folks in the room if they'd like to say something. But Mitch, I'd love you to say a few words because this man worked 24 hours a day for a long time. This is the result. It's the biggest ever approved in Congress, $6.2 trillion. So, we used to get used to the billion. It used to be a million, then it was billion, now it's trillion. And it's going to go a long way. It's going to make a lot of people very happy.
It's going to make a lot of people very happy. It's going to go a long way. $6.2 trillion.
$6.2 trillion.
$6.2 trillion. What is that? That's like the gaffe of the century, right? They even talk about that. CV, I'm not in the chat. I'm saying that to nationalize what difference would it make to nationalize the Federal Reserve if you still have corporations raping the kitty? Unless you get money out of politics, unless you make a fair and equitable taxation policy, where corporations are actually paying their fair share, nothing is going to change. The debt is infinite. According the way Trump is running the game is that quantitative easing, where money is unlimited. There is no limit to how much debt we can have at this time. It used to be thought of as a tragedy that we had to decrease the national debt using taxpayer funds. Taxpayers can't do it anymore. So we're on a new policy of just keep printing money, and as long as the dollar stays up, it doesn't dilute, then we're okay. Who cares about the debt? It's like saying I can create unlimited debt for myself, because what am I going to do? Turn around and say, okay, I'll say to myself, okay, time to give me the money. When I'm creating the debt myself, if I have a printing press to make money and people accept that money as I print it, then it doesn't matter if the Fed is nationalized or private or black box. It's still the same system of printing infinite money and having that wealth fly out the top. Right? You get the point. That's not the essence of the problem. Is that all of these guys in front of you are liars, and they're extracting the wealth, giving it to the corporations for their own gain, because they know the kickbacks come. Trump knows that if he gives out $6 trillion to corporate oligarchs, that he's going to get reelected. The corporation's going to funnel that money back in terms of advertising. He's going to have all the media and the press on his side. He's going to have the Wall Street on his side. Everybody's going to be on his side, right? And he retains power. That's all it's about. It's a power for the elite. Not for you and I is essentially what I'm trying to say. So so in that power grab, that number right there, the fact that the American people were bamboozled for $4 trillion of money that nobody really knows how they're going to spend it. It's basically corporate handouts, free money to corporations that are going to turn around and they're going to debt smaller businesses and regular people even more. And it's just a power grab. That's really what it is, right? And if it's not checked, it's just, it continues to go on, is what I'm trying to say. So this is fun. So in throwing gasoline on the fire of coronavirus, President Trump yesterday he was at the U.S. Naval Hospital ship Comfort, the United States USNS Comfort, which is it's a floating hospital, 1,000-bed hospital on water. There's actually two of them. U.S. owns two of them. We have the U.S. Comfort, the USNS Comfort, and USNS Mercy, which is on the California side, which does business, west of the Panama Canal. And this is the one that's on the East Coast, and this is coming into New York. We're going to get it right up in the harbor. It comes under my bridge, right where I hang out, and sometimes I film boats passing by, and shit. I'm going to see it, so it'll probably come through the port. I've been tracking it. So U.S. Comfort, we'll watch. You want to watch Trump? Tomorrow. So here's Trump yesterday. You can watch him. I sped it up a little bit. And U.S. Comfort. I mean, it's a beautiful ship. It's a beautiful gesture. Using the military boat and the military might to, it's not going to be used as a quarantine boat. It's going to be used to take the load off of local hospitals in New York. It's going to park on 90th Street in Manhattan on the west side, 50s. Not 90th Street, Pier 90 in the 50s. 50th Street, that's basically, that's like if you were in Times Square and you walked due west, you would run right into the pier. There's a lot of cruise ships that take off out of there. And so they're going to park the ship, and it should be here by tomorrow, Monday evening, Monday in the afternoon. But here's Trump and some other clown watching the boat get pulled out. And wow, I feel so good about my country. Look what we're doing. We're providing a warship, a Navy ship, hospital boat to New York because we need it, right? Because people are dying from coronavirus. So there's Trump. It's actually a spectacular boat. I love boats, man. Gonna watch this thing for the first time come into the New York harbor, and you see the tugboats are giving it a turn. That's what the tugboats do. The boat is in a little inlet. It backs up, and then the tugboat pushes the front of it forward, and it goes. It takes off on its pattern. But here's where it is right now. So here's the boat right now. This is an interesting tracking thing. I found this for the first time. So there's the boat in the water. See it? That is the so USS. Come on, get out of the way. So it took off here. This is pretty cool, right? So this is the past track. It took off from Virginia, Norfolk, Virginia, and it's cruising this way. It's right off the coast of Delaware right now, and it's going to make its way into the New York harbor. So look how far away it is. It's still got this is one day. It took off yesterday, so it's over here already. And it's going to come right in the New York harbor right here. There's my bridge right here. So the only way into the New York harbor is right here. You have to cross under the Verrazano Bridge. And this is where I usually hang out and film. So I'll see it. All right, here's basically the track, the boat track. So it'll come right in here, and you'll get a bird's eye view of the Comfort. Right? That's exciting, right? I mean, come on, we got to enjoy something in this life, right? It can't all be tragedy. it can't all be shit, right? The boat, it's just symbolic. I know it's not gonna actually do anything to, it's just a punch in the arm, a shot in the arm for the people, right? So again, back to the theme of 1984, the lockdown. While that's going on, while Trump is letting military boats, bringing military boats into a civilian situation to comfort the people with a giant Navy ship, Navy hospital in our presence, in our view. He's also saying this about locking down New York. This is what he said getting on his helicopter yesterday as he was leaving the White House.
As I said, I just spoke with Andrew Cuomo. I just spoke with Ron DeSantis. We're thinking about certain things. Some people would like to see New York quarantined because it's a hot spot. New York, New Jersey, maybe one or two other places. Certain parts of Connecticut quarantined. I'm thinking about that right now. We might not have to do it, but there's a possibility that sometime today we'll do a quarantine, short-term, 2 weeks on New York. Probably New Jersey, certain parts, and Connecticut.
Restricting travel from those places.
Restrict travel because they're having problems down in Florida. A lot of New Yorkers going down. We don't want that. Heavily infected. We're having a really good dialogue with Governor Cuomo. We've supplied him with a lot of things. We're giving him an extra 4 medical centers, tents. That's beyond what we've already given. As you know, we're giving them to New Jersey. We're doing a great job with the governor of New Jersey. He's been very good.
Would that be a more enforceable kind of quarantine, sir?
Well, this would be an enforceable quarantine. And,
okay.
I'd rather not do it, but we may need it. So I will see you over at the ship.
Thank you.
An enforceable quarantine. I'd rather not do it, but we may have to. As if one man can take away our rights, can say you got to stay in your house, right? No ball playing, no. Meanwhile, he's running around, jumping on planes, flying here and there, kissing. It's just a sick. It's sick. Lockdown? Fuck you, man. I ain't getting locked fucking down. So here's something else, right? So as I said in the title, I think the elections are no longer valid in New York. So here's Andrew Cuomo. I keep saying Mario because his father was Mario, and his brother is Fredo. Not Fredo. It's, what's his name? What's the guy on CNN's name? Chris Cuomo. So the two brothers. This is the powerful brother. This is Michael Corleone, and Fredo is Chris on CNN, the dumb brother, and the powerful father was Mario Cuomo, the old Italian. He was the governor of New York. So here's Andrew Cuomo, the governor of New York, telling very candidly. Watch his face when he says it. I mean, I think it's hard for him to keep a straight face while he's telling it, but he's saying that the elections that were supposed to be in April 28 in New York, are now pushed back. The primary against Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden. You remember that? We were having a primary, and then all of a sudden, that shit got derailed, and suddenly $6.2 trillion were on the table. Fucking, they forgot all about the election. You see how all the politicians just shut the hell up? You have AOC voting for the bailout bill. It's $6.2 trillion of pork in there. Bernie Sanders voting for it. They're all voting for it. Fucking, what happened? What happened to the revolution? What happened to the holdout? What happened to say this is bull fucking shit? I'm not signing this crap. Giving away $6 trillion to corporations that don't need it. What happened? It's just giving the country away. Just give it away. How do you stop it? Is what I'm trying to get at, right? So here's Andrew Cuomo, saying that the elections in New York are postponed.
Board was supposed to have a presidential primary election that's coming up on April 28th. I don't think it's wise to be bringing a lot of people to one location to vote. A lot of people touching one doorknob, a lot of people touching one pen, whatever you call the new device on the ballots. So we are going to delay that and link it to an election that was previously scheduled on June 23rd. The June 23rd date is for state legislative races and congressional races. We'll move the presidential election to that date. Ironically, I had advocated that it be on that date all along anyway, so there's only one election, and people only needed to come out once. Everybody.
So as if the election didn't matter anymore, right? As if Joe Biden has already won the primary, right? New York doesn't even count anymore. Look at this. New York they're pushing it back 2 full months, April, May, June, 60 full days away. And then they're going to have a convention. The Democrats are going to try to have a convention in July. And that's where they're going to appoint their candidate, right? What a fucking sham. What a ripoff. I can't even get myself to follow it anymore. I look at the polls. I don't believe them. The whole thing is fake. It's like, it is Orwellian, man. Here's a good quote. Try to read Orwell's quotes to bring us back to sanity. The masses never revolt of their own accord, and they never revolt merely because they are oppressed. Indeed, so long as they are not permitted to have the standards of comparison, they never even become aware that they are oppressed. Wow. So, are the American people oppressed? Are they bamboozled? Do they try to really revolt? Not really. Anybody who thinks that the American people right now have an advantage over the oligarchy because they're not working is ridiculous to retarded to think that, because people are eager. When people finally get the go-ahead to go back to work, they're going to run out the door and have smiles on their face and be glad they have a job. And all the people that don't have a job are going to be banging on the door to get a job and sucking that unemployment, that free money, right? There's no revolution. There's no... People don't even know they're being oppressed. They still are under the impression, I guess, mainstream media is pumping them full of lies, telling them that the bailout is coming, your money's coming, the president loves you. It's just a giant shell game, really. So Hillary Clinton stuck her foot in her mouth again. You want to hear Hillary Clinton? Don't let a good crisis go unchecked. So Hillary Clinton takes a stab at Trump and says, "See, watch what she says."
The Verge says, quote, "The coronavirus is now the American virus." And those insults apparently inspiring Hillary Clinton to tweet, "He did promise America first." Greg, this is bad.
That's terrible.
Go for it.
I'm sorry, I was daydreaming.
Did promise America.
That's what she said. I mean, it's so despicable.
And those insults apparently inspiring.
He did promise America first because coronavirus now leads the world in confirmed cases. That's Hillary Clinton. Watch the reaction. I mean, it's disgusting. She's a disgusting human being, but there she is again. And she's the unspoken leader of the Democratic Party still.
Hillary Clinton to tweet, "He did promise America first." Greg, this is bad.
That's terrible.
Go for it.
I can't believe I'm going to say there are no words for Hillary Clinton. She's not only stole this joke.
Try to think of it as Fox News is also duping you as well, because Fox News was on the record saying that coronavirus is just bullshit. It's an exaggerated flu. That's precisely what I think it is, and I've given you the statistics to prove it. Right? The more relevant nastiness right now is the fact that $6.2 trillion are being allocated from the Federal Reserve, and only $300 billion of that, that's about 10%, is going to the people. 90% of the money is going to small businesses in terms of loans to debt them more to the tune of $1 trillion, $500 billion. and the rest is going to corporations. It's going to the banks. It's going to the military. Who fucking knows who's going to get? Trump can't even get a wall for $5 billion, and they're giving $5 trillion. That's the real craziness. If there's craziness, that's where you look, not a fucking flu.
It's not even a good joke, and the joke is based on.
And here goes, again, Fox News drilling home the fact that coronavirus is very bad, and we should all be walking on eggshells when talking about it. People are dying. People are sick.
Suffering of others. I would say that she should rot in hell, but I think she's already there. And when you look at people suffering, death. By the way, the infection rates are increasing because we're testing more, and these are people that really want to.
That's exactly right, idiot. That's exactly right, Mr. Five. We are testing more. That's why the numbers are going up, because it exists already. It's flu. It's already existent. COVID-19 exists in the flu. 5 to 17% of the time, 5 to 15% of the time, COVID or corona is there. Right? Stop saying, oh, it's a new strand. It's been there. Right? And now that they're testing for it, they're getting more cases. You say like, well, we have more cases. We're first over China, but China probably didn't check. They're not checking everybody. The more they check here, if they made it available to everybody in the country to check, do a quick cheek swab or fucking shit up your nose or up your ass, however they swab you, and then you put those numbers out there, we'd be way over the top. Why? Because we're checking. Nobody else is checking for this flu. So it's irrelevant to say that the U.S. is leading the charge. And the only numbers that are relevant is this right here. 30,000 related deaths. And I mean, I guess the global cases, 660,000 global cases, are those even relevant? I would say look at the death rate from the flu. And then this number right here. So death rate from the flu, 30,600 globally, and this number right here, between 12 and 61,000 deaths globally. So 30,000 deaths from corona and 60,000 deaths anyway from the flu. That's what we're dealing with, right? It's not the number. What I'm trying to say is the number is not off the chart. To say that there are, also, if you say that there are 660,000 cases of corona, like cases of beer, you also have to say that there's 9 million to 45 million cases of the flu a year. So that, again, the numbers don't add up. How we doing, by the way? Mark's Conte reporting. Sorry, man. I'm rambling a little bit. So that's my corona page. What else can we look at? Oh, here's a good one. It was a bright, cold day in April, and the clocks were striking 13. Are the clocks striking 13? Are the clocks, are we going backwards? Is it, right? Are we still in real time with this whole thing? Right? I was trying to say yesterday, I was trying to get it out so bad that when I walk around my neighborhood, I recognize the buildings and I recognize the structures and I recognize somewhat the people, but I don't recognize the behavior anymore. What people are willing to accept, right? The absolute subordination where nobody challenges what's being poured down their throat when they know it's a fucking lie. Oh, the clock says 13. Oh, that's probably normal. That's what Orwell was trying to say when doublethink, when reality and some absurdity are allowed to coexist in your mind and you believe both, then you're insane. When the clock strikes 13, it's cuckoo time, right? Here's another one. It was terribly dangerous. Listen to this one. You tell me if we're there yet. It was terribly dangerous to let your thoughts wander when you were in any public place or within range of a telescreen. The smallest thing could give you away. A nervous tic, an unconscious look of anxiety, a habit of muttering to yourself, anything that carried with it the suggestion of abnormality, of having something to hide, in any case, to wear an improper expression on your face, was itself a punishable offense. There was even a word for it in newspeak: face crime. Are we there yet? Are we there yet where if you're walking around and you look a little sick, you look a little nervous, you look a little out of place, maybe we'll call the police. Maybe you have that coronavirus. Maybe they need to drag you away and bring you to the floating hospital off the river, in the river. Need to take you out of population. We're coming to it, folks. That's what I'm trying to say, man. That's what I'm saying. The further a society drifts from the truth, the more it will hate those who speak it. Bingo. The further the society drifts from the truth, the more it will hate those who speak it. Who is speaking the truth? Now, the fake news will say, well, they're speaking the truth. That's why they're hated. But in fact, they're not. People online, people like, what I'm doing, like a fucking truth written right on the wall, that are speaking from the heart, without any filter, are hated, are shut down on YouTube, are hated by others, conservative kooks and conspiracy theorists that try to frame you as a communist or a socialist or a conspiracy kook or anything to slow you down. Right? They hate. I feel good when I'm hated. I feel like I'm going in the right direction. So I want to play a little movie, right? How's everybody doing in the chat? Sorry for going on and on. Marcus Conte reporting. I'm gonna play a little stuff here from a little Noam Chomsky, part of a movie. So what's going on, man? Let me read some comments. Stockers say the distribution shipment's not coming in. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Sands of time, winds of change are blowing, says Vinny. Yeah, I agree. CV says, we aren't China yet. Sterling Price, my family is being cautious, but I suspect this corona thing is a psyop, a test run for something bigger. Yeah, I agree. I think there's minimal truth to it, and it could have been handled in a different way. It could have been handled, treat everybody as if you have the flu. Wear a mask, wear gloves, right? But don't shut down businesses. Don't shut down everything. Just treat people like you have the flu. Flu is the flu, right? And keep everything open. Keep society open. And if you catch the flu, well, then that's your fault, right? Because you didn't have your shit together. I can't wear fucking alcohol. I can't put alcohol on my hands anymore. My hands are starting to dry out. So what I did now is I got a pair of kitchen rubber gloves, right? And a mask. I also have some goggles if I want to wear them. And if I walk around, if I'm going to, go into a store or something, I always have the gloves on so that I wash the gloves. I don't wash my hands. You don't take the glove and touch your face or anything, but you're touching things with gloves. And then the gloves are good gloves. So you then, when you come in, you wash your hands as if you're washing your hands with the gloves on with soap and water, rinse them off and let them hang, right? And this is better than touching things and then having to resort to an alcohol swab. You know what I'm saying? So what else do we want to talk about here today? So yeah, this is the coronavirus hit list. And let's watch a little Noam Chomsky. It's a good movie. Check this out.
During the Great Depression, which I'm old enough to remember, there was, and most of my family were unemployed working class, there wasn't, it was bad, much worse subjectively than today, but there was an expectation.
Huh. Can you see this guy? What's going on here? Hold on a second. How come you can you see the movie?
Expectation that things were going to get better. There was a real sense of hopefulness. There isn't today.
Wow. You know what's funny? I'm playing the movie and I can see it on YouTube, but for some reason it's not broadcasting. Holy shit. I think YouTube found a way to block the video. They're actually blocking the video. Let me recharge this thing for a second.
They're the ones who've done things in the past. They're the ones who'll have to do it in the future.
I've never seen anything like this.
Imagine yourself in an outside position because the very fact of inequality.
Well, let's just listen to him.
But if you refine it more closely, the inequality comes from the extreme wealth. We're going to get better.
I want to explain the problem I'm having one more time. What I'm doing is I'm watching a movie. I'm watching the movie right now, but you could see everything else on my screen, right, as I flip through the pages. But for some reason, this video is blank. What a weird thing to happen. I've never seen anything like it. I see it perfectly. I wish I could show it to you. But anyway, let's listen to Noam Chomsky and I'll play something else. Show you something else.
During the Great Depression, which I'm old enough to remember, there was, and most of my family were unemployed working class, there wasn't, it was bad, much worse objectively than today, but there was an expectation that things were going to get better. There was a real sense of hopefulness. There isn't today.
That's exactly what I was trying to say yesterday, is that when I was a kid, there was a sense of hope that you could work and you could pursue something that you loved and that you could, prosper in that field. For me, it was nutrition, it was music, it was a variety of things. Today, it's just simply not the case. People come out of college and they have an aspiration of becoming something and they wind up working at Starbucks and they're grateful to have it. And then they're in massive debt, or they go further and they join the slime. They join a bank, and then they acclimate to that culture and they never get out. They just stay there. It stays, ripping people off for a living.
Inequality is really unprecedented. If you look at total inequality, it's like the worst periods of American history. But if you refine it more closely, the inequality comes from the extreme wealth in a tiny sector of the population, a fraction of 1%.
A fraction of 1%, the inequality. Listen to what he's saying.
There were periods like the Gilded Age in the 20s and the Roaring 90s and so on, when a situation developed rather similar to this. Now this period's extreme, because if you look at the wealth distribution, the inequality mostly comes from super wealth. Literally, the top 0.1% are just super wealthy. Not only is it extremely unjust in itself, inequality has highly negative consequences on the society as a whole. Because the very fact of inequality has a corrosive, harmful effect on democracy. You opened by talking about the American dream. Part of the American dream is class mobility. You're born poor, you work hard, you get rich. It was possible for a worker to get a decent job, buy a home, get a car, have his children go to school. It's all collapsed.
Damn right it has. So anyway, I don't know why my video's not playing, but so anyway, man. So Mark's Conte reporting. I hope everybody's doing well. What's going on in the chat, man? Everybody cool? Everybody not eating each other? We're kind of civilized today. We're all in this together. It's us versus them. That's the way it's got to be, man. It's got the way it's got to be, So let's listen to this, man. I love this chick, man. Love this chick singing. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today, man. That's a great comment there. Jerry Fleming says, I remember in the third grade in 1963, the teacher saying that with all the new inventions like a dishwasher and such, we would all have more time to enjoy life. Back then, one income had a person in middle class. It's fucking so true, man. That's how my grandparents lived, right? They lived in, my grandfather worked, my grandmother stayed home. She was a stay-home mom. And there was always plenty of money. Nobody, you'd invite 20 people over on Sunday and they'd sit around playing cards and grandma they picked up the bill. They would cook for everybody. You can't do that anymore. It's like everything is so expensive. And how can you get 20 people in the room at the same time when everybody is working so hard, right? Life is way more difficult now with all the conveniences. That's so true, man. The same big brother controlling the masses is the same controlling most of the left and right, says Keith Miller. Yeah, it's controlling everybody. It's controlling the whole thing. There is no left and right. That's for you to fight. When you start saying left and right and liberal versus conservative, you're playing right into the hand of the oligarchs. They don't care about any of that stuff. All they care about is have and have not. That's how they see the world. They don't care what religion you are. They don't care about any of that, man. I've been around enough rich people to know it. They don't give a shit about any. It's a joke when you call Trump a racist. They laugh at you. Who cares about that? It's not a concern to them. When you have millions and millions of dollars, you don't care what color people are. It doesn't mean anything to you. Low Cut Connie. Alright, I'm gonna check that out, man. It says Angry Cat, Low Cut Connie. I'll always take a musical. Let's check it out. Low Cut Connie. Take a musical suggestion. Let's give this a break for a second. Let's check out Low Cut Connie. You want to hear Low Cut Connie? Let's go. Let's hear it. I hope I don't get struck.
Kids are waiting.
This is Angry Cat's suggestion. Low Cut Connie. I'm already hearing John Cougar Mellencamp.
Rough week in America. I wanna throw my haircut against the wall.
All right.
These boys and girls ain't had no fun at all. They wanna lose their minds and have a ball.
He's got some kind of an accent.
Tripping on a test, you send me down the fire. All these kids are just way too high. No, it's got the guts just to look me in the eye. All these kids are just way too high.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I give it a 3.5 or a 4 out of 10, man. It's not my thing. But we heard it. Low Cut Connie. Thank you, Angry Cat, man. Thank you, man. Go back to this shit, man. Go back to these kids.
You've got
There's only so much you can play without getting struck. Sterling Price says Elvis Costello. You could play that and you get whacked. You get a lean. These new bands right here, Say Sue Me, is not even on the radar yet. So you can play it and not get struck. That's why I do it. You don't get a strike. You just get leaned. Let's listen.
Only I am getting old with this town. I just wanna live here, but I wanna stay here. All the friends I used to know love this town. Only I am getting old with this town. I just wanna stay here, but I wanna live here. I'm always late.
Music is about catching lightning in a bottle, and every once in a while you put the right people in the room, and it just works. This girl by herself would be nothing.
Everyone like this, all the fucking town. Only I'm getting old with this town. I just wanna stay here, but I wanna live here. All the friends I used to know love this town. Only I'm getting old with this town. I just wanna live here, but I wanna stay here. I'm always late.
All right, everybody, peace. I'm gonna kill it over here. Thank you very much, Sterling Price in the moderation, Vinny DiMartini in the house, and CV in the house. We got Vladid M, Joe Dokes, Angry Cat. That was a good pick, but you'll have to work harder. Willie Dig. What's up? TJ. Ooh. Have a good day, everybody.